Okay, we are live at Monday Night Live. Woo! So we just got off with our fabulous and to our pace setters, and what we wanted to train tonight is on the process of contacting people and the proper follow-up. So I'm going to pass it over right away to my partner in crime, Trisha Bless. So Trisha, take it away.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you so much.
And I'm going to sit so that y'all can see me, and that'll work out great. Okay, so get your pen and paper handy because I have some statistics for you to start with, okay? We're going to talk about how many attempts it takes to actually get some results, because here's what most of us do. Most of us make a booking call or a text message or a Facebook message or whatever we do, and then we wait. And we wait. And we wonder why they haven't responded, and we know they've read the message, and we wait. Well, here's some numbers for you. 2% of people respond on the first attempt. 3% respond on the second attempt. Just 5% respond on the third attempt. 10% of the attempts you make are going to respond after the fourth. And the other 80% of the people are not going to respond until at least the fifth time you try to contact them. So you guys, if you're sad after one or two, you just haven't asked enough times. You know how we hear work the numbers? Well, it's helpful to know what the responses are like coming back from the other side, what those numbers are. So just know that when you look at your sheet of 20 referrals that you got at a party, 80% of those people are not going to answer you, are not going to respond to your message or your phone call until you've tried at least 5 times. So stop quitting too early. That's my lesson there. Let me give you a flip side to that. 48% of us who get referrals never follow up with them at all. Don't ever do that. Another 25% of us try 2 times and stop. What did we just learn? We were only going to get 3% of the answers from trying twice. 12% of us try 3 times and stop. Only 10% of us are actually making 3 or more attempts. You guys, be in the 10%. Be the one who's willing to make the phone calls and the text messages to get the results. Now you're thinking, oh my gosh, I have to keep track of all these referrals to enough to contact them 5 times or 6 times. How am I going to do that? I have an answer for that too. There's a really simple system that we learned about a year and a half ago. And we did it for a while. If you've been in Mary Kay for a couple of years, this sounds familiar, but then we got away from it. We never ingrained it as a habit, and I'm just as guilty of that. So I got out my tracking sheets and I started it again. So here's the concept. You take your list of referrals that you have, your list of names, and if you're a new consultant, it's your wedding list. The people that you wrote down as the people that you would invite, the families that you would invite if you were getting married. If you think you don't have anybody to book right now, then start by making a wedding list. Then divide your list into groups of 10. So you just take a look at your list and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, draw a line, next 10, draw a line. And you're gonna work with 3 groups of 10 at a time, okay? And you're gonna go through a rotation of contacting those groups in order once every about 3 days with a text message and a phone call. So what's happening is in a period of about 9 days, you're gonna make 6 attempts to those people. Now, I can already hear what some of you are thinking. You're like, wait, that's gonna be too pushy. I don't wanna be pushy. I can't tell you the number of times. It just happened today. I was making my 5th attempt today with a group I was working on. And one of the ladies called me right back and she's like, oh my gosh, I've been meaning to get back to you. I couldn't find your number. I'm so glad you called again. You guys, they don't mean to blow us off, but you get a text message from someone you don't know and it gets lost in your phone because you get 72,000 other text messages from people that you know all day. And then you're like, I know it's here somewhere, but you can't find it, and you forget to call the person back or respond. It's not that they're trying to be mean. They just lost track of the message or your phone number. If you left a voicemail, they lost the phone number for a minute. So they're actually grateful that you've reached out. And you know what I also find? The people who don't want to be contacted, I've not had mean people really at all. They've just been like, no thanks, I'll pass, or I'm not interested. And then isn't that way better to know and just cross them off the list than it is to wonder and go, well, she saw the message, is she gonna answer me? That's just annoying and makes your brain hurt. So You take your 3 groups of 10 people, and then you have your script for what you're booking them for based on how you got them. And I'm not going to get into a lot of detail with that because I really just want to talk about the phone call process, because you all have scripts that you use. And if you don't, because you're brand new, you probably got booking scripts from your director when you started, or we have them in our booking book on the Gelzer website. There's lots of places to get your scripts. But your tracking system includes knowing what script you're using so that you know how to book them. And there's 3 pieces to your script. There's the initial contact, and I'm just going to use referrals as an example. So in my referral script, I'm contacting them. I'm letting them know that we have a friend in common who thought they might enjoy a complimentary pampering session. I'd love to give you the details. When's a good time to call? And if I call her and I don't reach her, then I shoot her a text message that says something similar. So that would be my referral 1 script. So I call her and I text her with that information. That's my first 2 attempts. And those happen on the same day. Usually what happens is you call, you leave a voicemail, because most of the time people don't answer right then, especially if they don't know the number. Then you shoot her a text message basically summarizing what your voicemail says, because people don't check their voicemail either. I find my children do that all the time. Oh, did you call me, Mom? Yeah, did you listen to my voicemail? No. Well, this is what I said. They want me to text them and tell them anyway. Okay, so then 3 days from now, I'm going to contact that same group again with my second script, voicemail and text message. And the second one is going to be something alike. And again, you can get the exact scripts off the website, so I'm not going to go into them in detail. But, checking to see if you got my message about the free gift you got from Brenda. I know you're super busy, so if you don't hear back from you in a few days, I'll contact you again. Okay, so you leave the voicemail, you follow up with the text message. So now you've contacted her 4 times. Then you put her in the rotation for 3 days later, and you send off or you leave what's called the breakup voicemail. And it basically says, this is Trisha with Mary Kay. I'm trying one last time to reach you about your gift from Brenda. I know you're really busy right now, so if I don't hear back from you, I'll assume that you are too busy, and I'll check back with you a few months from now. That's basically what it says. I send the same thing as a text message, and then I can put that referral set away for about 3 months. And so if you go on our Gelzer website, there's a really simple visual that shows you what I'm talking about. So what this is it tells you the group 1 or group A, group B, group C, and then each day for 9 days. Day 1, here's who you're texting. Day 2, here's the group you're texting. Day 3, here's the group you're texting. And it just goes through there so that you can track at a glance who you're working on. And it's attached to 3 sets of tracking sheets, a group A sheet, a group B sheet, and a group C sheet. And so your sheet is just to put, like, you can make yourself a note about which type of script you're using. Like for me, when I'm doing referrals, I have R1, R2, R3. So today I was working on an R3 list for a set of referrals I had. Then you put her name and her phone number and any notes that you might want to help you remember. Like sometimes maybe you get a partial response via text message, like, yeah, that'd be great. What are the details or something? And then you send them the details and then you don't hear back again. So I keep notes and that kind of thing. So I kind of know where I'm at if I've had some conversation with her. So you have a sheet for each group and you're just working through that page and it's just 10 contacts. You don't have to do more than that. So you're making those 10 phone calls and those 10 text messages for that one group that day. And through a 9-day process, you'll go through all 3 groups 6 times. And when you finish with group A for the 6th time, so the 3rd round of phone call and text, then you can retire that sheet and make a new group A. And they just plug right into the rotation. So it's not something that you do for 9 days and stop. You just keep putting names into the hopper. So you get names from your facial or your parties that you did this week. They just go into your pile to get on a sheet to become a group. And that's a consistency system that you can create for yourself that does not take 1,000,000 hours. It does not take you very much time to make 10 phone calls, you guys. It really does not, especially when you know what you're going to say. And if you do it day after day after day after day, you're not going to be looking at an empty day book. You're going to have bookings. And you're not going to be sitting there frustrated because you sent out 50 text messages last week. Why didn't anybody answer? Because I don't even remember who answered me for the 10 I sent out yesterday because I did 10 different messages and phone calls today. So it's just like I said, it's just a great consistency habit that you can use to manage your booking so that you don't get overwhelmed by having to do a ton. And you also don't stop when you get a couple of bookings and you're like, woohoo, I got a booking. I'm not going to try to book for a week. And then I'm going to go, oh no, I don't have any bookings on my calendar again. Now I got to make 7 million phone calls. It's so much easier, especially when you're managing your Mary Kay around all the rest of your life, your job, your kids, everything else, your church commitments, everything you have going on, to just find time for that 10. You don't have to do 10 all at once. Split it up into 3 different time slots or 4 different time slots or whatever you need to do. When I was working my full-time job, I would do this like at my lunch break and after I got home. I had to usually sit in my car in the garage because if I went in the house, my kids would find me. Sometimes if I was really wanting to get stuff done, I would go park somewhere else, not my house, to make sure they couldn't find me. But you guys, it's just creating a system and being committed to the time that will take you, which isn't a lot. You can get this done in less than 30 minutes, the phone call and the text message. You really can. It probably isn't even going to take you, it's probably going to take you about 20 most days. But by building that consistent habit and having that organization so that you're not wondering, okay, I have 20 minutes to make phone calls. Who should I call? Oh, I'm on group B today and it's R2. It's my second round of referral calls to that group. It takes you 2 seconds to get your act together and start using the phone or sending out the text messages or whatever you need to do. So there's also more sophisticated tracking methods of this. There's an Excel spreadsheet on the website if you would rather use Excel. There's multiple scripts. There's 3 different videos that talk about this. If you want to get more details than what I've shared, there's a whole section on the Gelsler area website called 21 Day Revival. And that's what this is based on. But it has been one of the most, I think, consistency building, successful booking systems that I've encountered in my business. And we just heard from a sales director last week who did it every day for 365 days. She did not skip a day. She made her 10 phone calls, 10 messages, and she was done. Even when she was on vacation, she took 20 minutes away from her family, did what she's had to do. You guys, she's having the best year ever in her Mary Kay business, and she will be a national sales director very soon because she was committed to being consistent. And I want what she's got, so I'm going to do it too. So that's my tidbit on the 21-day system. I don't care about the 21 days. What I care about is developing consistency. So that's what I call the consistent booking system. Try it. I promise you it'll make a difference.
Okay, guys, so this is saved on here so you can connect to it again. And thank you so much for getting on. We had some viewers live. Yay. So it actually worked. So I'll repost it so that you guys can share it too. All right, guys. So get out there and you know what? Start with day 1. Start with day 2. Start with day 3. Do the 9-day cycle. And then it's the compound effect of doing it over and over again. Get up to that 21 days because when you do something 21 days in a row, it makes it a habit. Whether it's a good habit or a bad habit, right? So the compound effect will affect us positively or negatively. So choose to do what's going to positively affect you, your business, and your family. So, all right, thanks, guys.